Hi, all, and welcome to Monday night's All Meta Mode podcast with Gypsy and myself, Amanda Digger DeGauze. Before we get started with tonight's show, just a reminder that January's issue of Dirt Digest magazine is available at dirtdigestmagazine.com. This is a monthly online treasure hunting magazine with articles and reviews and different submissions from people who enjoy treasure hunting or metal detecting or dump digging or magnet fishing or bottle dump digging or mudlarking. Either way, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, so that is all I have. Hey, Gypsy, how are you?
Hey, I am doing wonderful. How about you?
I am doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was a weekend. Anytime not working is usually a good weekend, and actually we got up into like the high 30s, and I think the Sunday was 42, so that was pretty exciting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the area of Texas I live in, we got snow.
What?
and and for our area, I, I think it was a couple of years ago, we got some snow flurries, and we were like so ecstatic that we were getting some snow flurries. So, because it never snows in this area. Now, I've lived all over different areas of Texas, um, and I've seen, it in East Texas near where my parents live, it snows, big time over there. Not everywhere, but fairly, And then even some of the areas I've lived in West Texas, we got quite a bit of snow. But down here, it's just something that doesn't happen. And we got up to probably, about 5 inches that stuck. So it was raining before it started snowing for quite a while. So when it first started snowing, it would kind of melt when it hit it first. So we supposedly got up to about 8 inches of snow. But about 5 inches that stuck, and I got out and played in the snow, and I made I call it a snow woman,
Yeah.
a snowman, but it was a snow woman detectorist, of course, and gave her a shovel and a detector and headphones and a hat and a scarf. So it was a lot of fun. I hadn't made a snowman or anything like that, and well, probably since my kids were itty bitty. So my oldest one probably. So I know you're used to seeing snow all the time, but it was weird for me.
So we
But
got we got the somewhat nice weather while you got the cold and the
you got to
snow.
get out then. Did you get
Yes.
to go? All right. So did you go mudlarking or did you go metal detecting? What did you get to go do?
So I had errands and stuff to run and haven't been feeling that great. So basically just didn't get out for too long. I went out, I was running my errands near a spot that is my favorite beach, and I pulled up the tides and it was low tide. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go walk for a few and check it out. And I spotted, so I got my first marble of 2021. And it turned out to be
Woo!
uranium glass marble, so it glows under black light.
Ooh,
So,
it glows.
yep,
How cool.
yep. So I was
I
pretty
still need
excited.
to check my marbles. Do you know, I've never done that. I've never checked my marbles to see if any of them glow.
Oh,
I
you
need to
need
do
to. It's so fun.
that.
And
I
then
bet.
Sunday I got out for a little bit too, and I ended up hitting a different beach and just found shoe after shoe. So that was interesting. A whole bunch of, I think it was a total of 4 or 5, old leather, patent leather shoes. And I found actually a really pretty brooch. It's 3 circles that are intertwined and they have stones. So I'm slowly cleaning that. Actually, it's pretty crazy. It's got that same almost like, I think they're supposed to be flowers, but to me it looks like that gold nugget ring I found. Well,
Oh,
when I started brushing it off, a giant piece flaked off and it was gold underneath. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
ooh,
Um, but
ooh.
I don't see any marks, and I know that certain like brackish and type of water like that, like the brass can look gold. So I don't know. Once I get it fully cleaned up, I popped a couple of the stones off so I could clean underneath, and then I'll put them back in. They're in settings, um, and I'll test it then because I don't see any marks yet, but it's really pretty. So I've been slowly
So
working
you
at
do
that.
have a gold test. I think I remember you saying you did a
Yes.
gold tester.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I do. Um,
That's awesome.
so I've got that, and basically
Mhm.
spending the weekend. But I've just been spending time trying to do my year-end wrap-ups. So I
How's it going?
good, good. I have quite a few that are done. I held on to one big one from 2019, and I'm kind of glad I did. I've got a few more pieces from last year, like that 1864, 1865 coin spill. So I cleaned up
Oh
those
yeah.
coins, and I can actually add them to the display. So that's going to look pretty rockin'. Um, yeah, more or less they're going pretty good. I what I do is I take so every time I go out, I try to do this anyway. Sometimes I forget and don't get to clean the pouch until, a few days down the line, but I
That's what I do.
I have sandwich bags that I use, and so I reuse them constantly. So I cross off what if there's something written on it, and I put the location and the date, and then I put it in a big box that belongs to, the different locations that I go to. At the end of the year, I open everything all up, and at that point is when I have a notebook and I, jot everything down in it, what I found, by location. And that way I can kind of go back and go, all right, well, this was an area I went and these are the things I found. And oh, look, I went the next year and I only hit this area, so I should go back. But it also, it paints like a huge picture of like, these are all the items that I found. And I do that too because there are those properties that I have that I give everything back. Um, so it kind of helps me know where I found certain things over the years and where I might not have hit on that property to go back and do again, especially some of these bigger
Right.
properties. But it's pretty neat.
Right.
I do need to get a new notebook, so that's fun.
You filled it up, huh?
Yep, yep. And then I don't know if anyone who listens follows me on Instagram, but um, I like Instagram. I like posting pictures and different history of things I found, but I'll be doing the Winter Blues giveaways starting up here soon again. So got
Ooh,
some fun giveaways. Guess how many
cool.
marbles and guess how much clad and things like that. How many times did I get out last year? Which I was kind of blew my mind. Even with everything going on, I was kind of shocked at how many times I actually got out in 2020 and stuff like that. So it's fun. So if you don't
Wow.
follow me on
Yeah.
Instagram,
Yeah, go check her out. What's your Instagram? Is it just under Amanda Digger Degaz or Degazio or
no, it's
what's it
just
under?
a digger to gauze.
Oh, Digger Degaz. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Well,
So how,
cool. Yeah, I follow you on Instagram, and I'm always uh, loving seeing your photos of your marbles and your beads and your mudlarking type stuff. Well, and your metal detecting finds. But I know you're not able to get out as much in the winter, and but I love watching your photos. So yeah, you're gonna have to put a photo of your marble that glows. It's pretty cool. Some
Thanks.
photos of that. And I need to go check mine. I don't even think I have a black light anymore. So, but yeah, it's good finding your marbles. Everybody's talking about marble rock when you were talking about this. I've lost my marbles a long time ago. I'm slowly finding them, putting them back in. But now I noticed you found a lot of shoes. Are some of these shoes, are they older shoes? What were you finding?
So they are older shoes. The leather, for some reason, seems to keep up pretty good in the mud. But you can see, like, I didn't actually take pictures, but I do flip them over and take a look, and you can see the multiple layers with the actual, like, the nails in there and stuff. So they're, looking at them and based on, I guess, the, not pattern, but the design of the shoe, my guess is that they're probably 80 years old, if not a little older. And in the location, I mean, it's hard because there really is just so much in there that could be, year-wise. I don't know. It's crazy. So my guess,
Yeah.
though, on those is that, yeah, it's anywhere from 80 to 100 and something years old.
Wow. That's cool.
But yeah,
I
so
know the dump I'm digging, that I've been digging in lately. I mean, I've been finding some of the old leather soles and stuff, but I wouldn't say they're that as old as that. They're probably no more than 30, 40, maybe 50 years. I don't know. So.
Yeah, but you still find some pretty cool things. I know your last dump digging video had some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing, what you can find in the dump. And even the newer dumps, I'm always surprised about the older things that you find. And my guess is, of course, they were late throwaways. But it brings me back to a memory of when I was a kid. And unfortunately, we had this older lady that we were really fond of, me and my brother, and she passed away. And I remember the family just throwing, when they go through some of that stuff, when they're clearing out a house or a home that's been lived in for since, a long time. And they just go, and some of it, they don't go through that thoroughly. And, we found some pretty cool stuff just in the trash. I used to go dumpster diving a lot in our alley, and found old jewelry, found, you name it. We found it as kids. And so I guess I've always done some form of treasure hunting from the time I can even remember. But, there's always, what's so interesting, though, is even if it's not a very old dump, you get some of those late throwaways where somebody's just throwing out, maybe they had a box on a shelf and they didn't realize what all was in there, forgotten what was in there, and just dumped it. So it's always really cool and a shock when you find something really old or really cool in these old dumps. And I guess the same could be said for even newer properties sometimes that you detect, and maybe kids go in and play with things they should. Same thing when you find things that are on a playground and you're digging in the mulch, and this is newly mulch, and you find something kind of old but it's in good shape. You usually know that was some kid probably got into, something that they shouldn't have and then lost it.
See, that's not the case for me, though. Like, well, at least in this area, most of our schools are built on old farm properties. So
Right.
that's crazy. Yeah. So you could do the outs, you could be finding modern and then all of a sudden dig a hole and you have a really crazy signal and you're pulling out, pipe stem fragments with a lantern piece underneath.
Right,
You just,
right. And that still happens here too with some of the properties, that built right on old farmhouses and stuff, some of these newer subdivisions, but the only problem with the newer subdivisions, they usually bring and spray out field dirt and gravel and stuff, so it makes it that much harder, unfortunately. Or cement it in, make the cement drive, it covers all that good stuff, that old stuff. It's just sad.
So how was your weekend?
So it was good. Later last week, I got to get away to a nearby town and got to meet up with a guy that I went metal detecting before. I didn't get to do much detecting actually while I was there, but I did get out for a very short while, and we went back to a property we got to detect before, but they had recently torn down this old porch that was there. And I did a really cool thing. Probably going to wait for the video, but what I will tell you is that I did a really cool token, and him and I were, his name is Kevin, we were doing the research, and he found one just like it for sale on eBay for $125. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's always cool that you can find maybe something like that for sale, and it's not, for me, it's not monetary. It's not about the monetary or how much it's worth. To me, it's about the history behind that object, and the history behind that one little object I found to be very interesting. So that's probably more what that video is going to be about than anything. Is I'll do like a history type thing on that object or that company or whatever. So.
Well, that's cool, though. And it's always neat when a porch gets removed or something like that. You just never know what you're going to find underneath there. Fell in between the boards and was never retrieved, or...
Yeah, and it's possible, there could have been other stuff there. We just really didn't take much time. We really didn't take much time there. He was showing me some places around town that we might could go this summer when it gets warmer. And we were talking about some of the creeks and some of the history there. So it was more of that. I am getting out tomorrow with a friend that he had actually bought a detector from me last year, and we'd gotten out a couple times. And I was showing him how to use it. It's not a Garrett, for those of you who want to know. Anyway, he's just starting to get a little kind of the hang of his detector, and he's got a couple permissions for us tomorrow to go to, and he's bringing along a friend that wants to try out a metal detector. She is into arrowhead hunting, and she can find some really neat arrowheads. I've seen some photos of some of the stuff that she has. So I think it's kind of, metal detecting will be right up her alley, so to speak. So we'll see what happens. So I'll definitely let y'all know more about that next week. But I'm really excited. One of the properties, he said, I think it later became a house, or it was made into basically a house, but it was at one time an old hotel. So there might be some goodies there.
Yeah.
And it does date back to the 1800s. I don't recall right now what year it was built, but for our area, it's pretty old. So, excited about that. It'll be fun. Let's see what we can find.
Very cool. I can't wait to get updated. And good luck on that tomorrow. Oh,
Thank you.
I do have to say I was so upset. So settled in yesterday and was like, all right, what are we gonna watch? And John was like, "Oh, we need to watch Gypsy on Discovery Plus," and we had Discovery Plus. I saw it. I think I told you. I'm like, "Oh, we've got it," and so we went back and searched for it, and all of a sudden we don't have it anymore. So I know that either later on tonight after the show or tomorrow, I'm gonna have to download it or whatnot, so that way I can watch you, see you on the Freddie Dodge's show.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't like looking at myself up there. I see all the wrong angles and all my extra body weight that I put on during COVID and all that. So it's weird, but at the same time, it's kind of surreal. It's crazy. I've been having a lot of people message me and say they watched it and all that. And I do know that Mike, I think he posted. It's kind of a one of my friends had sent it to me. I think he posted it in all metal mode on Facebook. And anyway, it's just the section of where I'm in the episode. So you can go get a sneak peek if y'all want to. A guy posted it on YouTube. So you can go check that out. Sorry I don't have the link right now, but I'm sure if you go to All Metal Mode, you can find it on Mike's All Metal Mode on Facebook. The link. Or you can message me and I'll send it to you. If you don't have the Discovery Plus, I think I mentioned last week, Discovery Plus is offering a free trial. So if you don't want to spend the money right now, they're offering a free trial right now. So that's something you might want to think about. So I don't know if you got the free trial. I went ahead and paid the $4.99 with ads.
Yeah, I was like, it was only like $5 or $6, and it actually looked like there's some good shows. So I was like, yeah, it might be worth it to do it. $5 a month. I end up spending that much to rent movies and whatnot. So.
Right, exactly. Mark in chat just posted the link of the clip, so y'all can copy that and watch that later after you get off if you get a chance. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. So, I did my live feed the other night. I know you popped in for a little bit and gave away some gold panning kit with Freddie Dodge. His picture is on there. And I thought that was fun little chat. It was nice to visit with everybody and answer some questions, and I gave away some coffee mugs as well. So that was fun getting to chat with some of the people that subscribe to my channel, and some of them are new, and some of them I've known for a long time that have been supporters of my channel since I started. And it's weird how what the channel has, turned into just by starting. I never thought I would, I thought I might get maybe 50 to 100 subscribers when I started it, and a few views. I just started it just to share my passion, for what I do and share the things I dig up. And who knew what would happen? You just never know. It's been a crazy ride.
Well, I'm glad to have been joining you on some of those journeys. So that's
Me
good.
too, and hopefully we'll get to do more. We've got to wait for up there where you live to thaw out a little. So maybe late spring, if things are looking better, we'll see what we can manage for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And speaking of your channel too,
Fingers crossed.
you just got a new video out. Isn't that the one with Jace too?
Yeah, Jace is in that video. So that was a trip to Mississippi, and I met up with Garrett, some of Steve Moore from Garrett, and Miguel and Brian. Brian is one of their videographers, and so is Miguel, but he does a lot of metal detecting too and testing out new stuff. And they were testing out some new coils. I got to test out a new coil. They'll be announcing soon. It's not on the market yet. We were just testing it. But in that video, you'll get to see some of the finds that they were testing out. They only had two with them, so they were using their 18 Maxes. They have made a new AT Series Viper coil. The Viper coil is the same shape and size as the one on the Apex that comes standard with the Apex, the Viper coil for the Apex, of course. But the difference is this is compatible with the AT Series. So you can use it on your AT Gold, you can use it on your AT Max, or you can use it on your AT Pro. So it's really cool that I'm excited about these coils coming out because, of course, I'm ready to get that. I love the Viper coil so much on the Apex. So I'm excited to test it out on the my AT Max as well as my AT Pro, but really my AT Max because those two are my main machines, my main go-to machines, the AT Max and the Apex. So I'm anxious to try those out, and I'm not going to do a spoiler alert, although I'm excited. I can't wait about the other coil. It is a large coil that will be available for the Apex that we were testing out. And I think I mentioned this before last week or whenever that was, a little about that coil. But it's not in the video, but you will see the Viper coil. Anyway, really cool. And it was fun. That first day was windy and cold with Steve Adams. He's in chat, and he knows that day was really windy and cold, and I was trudging in the mud, and he was smart. He stayed up there where the field wasn't plowed, kind of along the edge up there where it wasn't plowed to stay out of the mud. And he's in my video as well as his friend, and he found a silver-suited dime, which is in the video.
Ooh.
And so, yeah, y'all be sure and check out the video. You posted a link, didn't you?
I did.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
So y'all be sure and check out my trip to Mississippi. It was a blast. I had fun. Got to dig there with Steve Adams and his friend. Got to dig with some of the Garrett friends. Of course, they would follow me around, especially Miguel, who did some videoing for Garrett, so did Brian, and a lot of photos, which, by the way, one of the photos that he snapped of me, I think it was the last morning right before I was ready, I was trying to get out of there. We went out to the field behind where we were staying and got to swing the detector for a little while, and he was following me around with the metal detector and taking photos, and we were waiting on Brian to get there to do some more photos and video for a promo thing they were doing for the new coil. But anyway, he was snapping some shots while I was out there, and one of the shots that he took in that field is Garrett's new ad for the Apex. It's in Dirt Digest magazine. So if y'all get a chance, hop on over to Dirt Digest magazine and be sure and check out the photo that he took that morning. And also check out my article on coils, on the sizes of coils, different sizes of coils. Check that out if you haven't already. And check out Amanda's, one of her finds is in there as well. Amanda, you can tell me about that. I think you mentioned it last week, but we can talk about it again a little.
Yeah, it's I went to Bone 27, maybe. I'm not sure what year it was or how many it's been. Natural hunt, and it was a sterling silver ring that was really pretty. Sadly, missing the stone. It seemed to be the 2020s repeated. It seemed like every ring I found was missing the stone, or any items with stones, I was missing the stone. So.
Oh man, I hate it when I did one that, or a brooch or a ring or piece of jewelry that's missing the stone. You always wonder what that looked like. I mean, it could have been an emerald or something, especially the shape of what you found. Really pretty.
And most of the time too, if I'm digging, detecting or anything like that, I have, a case or a sandwich bag or a freezer bag or something like that in my pouch. So what I do is I take some of the dirt that was around it, and I tell you, I've done that for multiple items that I found, and I haven't found a single stone. So at least give it a try. So.
Right. Keep that in mind about stones. We'll get back to that in a moment, but I want to address Steve Adams in chat that we were detecting with. It's in my video. I call him Coach. But he said in chat that over 10,000 Yankees camped in that field that we were in. So that's an interesting piece of history right there. And Steve, he's been detecting that whole area for years, and he's constantly been pulling some amazing stuff out of there. So every time, they plow those fields and the rains and all that good stuff, more stuff turns up. So you just never know what you're going to find. But back to, you were talking about finding those stones, and I'm curious. I know there's really no way to, the area that you're mudlarking and stuff to really sift that.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's impossible, but can you imagine if there was a way for you to sift some of that? There's a dump that we go to that if you ever get to come to Texas, I'll take you to, that I've talked about on here, and I've got a few videos on it. But it's up in Fort Worth, and it's in a creek. And part of it, the runoff goes into a creek. And I was digging with one of my friends there, and he found, I think there's been more than one, but a ruby that is emerald cut. And it is gorgeous. And we were sifting in that river, and it was just gorgeous. But if you ever get a chance to see a ruby, the way it glows through black light too, kind of like the uranium, it's neat. And there's certain ways you can test to see if they're real or synthetic and all that. So anyway, just wanted to point that out.
I have my eye, I have a wish list, or I call it's the wish list in Amazon and all those different places. So that way, if in turn, I decide I'm going to end up purchasing the next thing to kind of with treasure hunting and whatnot, the gem tester is something that's on the list that I think I'll end up probably purchasing. Yeah.
That would definitely, for as much of stuff and jewelry and stuff as you find, I've never looked into the price of those. I think that's how he tested it first, to see if it was real. He had a friend that has a gem tester. I mean, I've got the diamond tester, but um,
They're expensive.
he-
I think it was like
yeah,
$250. So it's one of those, yeah, not just jump and purchase, but
right, right.
maybe if I find more
Um,
stones this year.
yeah, well, somebody popped in chat. This might be something that you can consider. I know you probably have some gold pans of your own, but it wouldn't hurt to pan a little in some of that shallow water there.
Yeah, it would
Scrape
be
a
off.
little into a pan and pan it out. So,
Yeah, with a couple of those beaches, it would be pretty good. But some of the places that I spent a lot of time last year with my one of my mudlarking friends, it's predominantly mud. So
yeah, I figure.
might be a little more difficult in those type of areas. But yeah, the rocky beaches and stuff too. I do know, I've used just a shard of pottery or glass I've seen and just kind of slowly raked the top and have found beads and I have found, I'll call it a paste stone or the glass stones. I have found a couple of those doing that. So the panning in those might actually be a really good idea, but probably not
Yeah,
so much
cool.
in the mud. Some of these mud areas, I mean, if you don't wear, I don't know, even last year I wore, multiple pairs of gloves and still because those areas were dumps and everything that got tossed in there as well as burned and on top of it being brackish water, it's like a black oil like that stains your fingers. It's so basically, if you dig or any of that type of thing, like you really need to go back after a few tides and hopefully a rain, and then anything you might have missed might be on top. Like I know in the past that's the buckle hoard was one of the ones that I found in that type of an area, and it really is. It's black, oily, gross, um, gross. But
Does
and
it
that's
smell?
it does. It
Does it
smells.
smell? Yeah,
And it doesn't
yeah, yeah.
smell like ocean or sea. It smells bad. It smells bad.
Sewery.
Y-
Probably kind of like sewer
I
a
guess,
little.
yeah. But it's so from whatever material that they burned, and then the brackish water, and the items that are there. It's crazy because, like I said, those brass items came out. Some of them came out looking pretty good, and others you just kind of hit, and the verdigris falls off, and it's shiny as all get out underneath. So. I don't
Huh.
know. But yeah, it's gross. It stains everything. Everything. Clothes, shoes, hands. Accidentally touched my forehead one time and had a nice line across. I felt, like what?
I love it. Oh. Yeah, there's one that just reminded me of one. I've got a video that I filmed a while back with me and my friend Zola and my buddy Scott. We were digging in this dump, and you should have saw the dirt on my face after we were through. And I haven't posted that video. I guess I need to. I'm probably going to do like a backflash of last year's videos that didn't get posted or something. Because I've got like at least four videos that I haven't edited and published yet. So I may have to do that because, yeah, Bill says you're wearing your war paint. And
Yes.
that's exactly what I'm thinking about is, the war paint on your face, that black stuff on your face. It would have been funny to see, I'm sure. But
Actually,
the only thing
it's
about, go
something I
ahead.
something I learned, and it was from some of the, I think, overseas mudlarkers and detectorists. So they'll keep a jug of water and like some Dawn dish soap So I did. I got one of those
Smart.
giant jugs and threw it in the back of the truck and brought, Dawn and a face cloth. And yeah, I'll be at that. Even with detecting, some of these fields, you're covered in dust. You take the dirt and dust, take your gloves off, and it's like, oh my gosh. Um, and usually I'm running errands or whatnot in between. So I did find that was definitely a better way to do it instead of the ride home and getting the mud all over everything and try to clean off
Right.
before.
I've gotten where I just carry wet wipes in my car and in my backpack for that. But it's like hard to just, oh, well, I got to take off my gloves and I got to wipe and wash off and all that. So that's probably another reason why I don't always, when I'm videoing, I know some people are always looking at the camera. I just can't do that. Well, like they'll show their face and then they'll go down and look at the fines. Part of the reason why I don't do that is I probably got dirt all over my face, my hair's falling in my eyes, it's just not a pretty sight. So I try to stay away from that when I'm out digging
Yeah.
and videoing. Oh, boy. So anything else y'all want to chat about? Y'all can drop some stuff in the comments if you want. Anything you want to chat about, Amanda?
Yeah, I don't really have too much. Again, yeah, we are getting more light, daylight. So hopefully in a week or two, it
Yeah,
means I will be getting done work and be able to do something outside of work, um,
yeah.
during the
Did I hear it
weekdays.
correctly that next year that it's possible we won't do the daylight savings time?
Oh,
I
I don't
think that
know.
they may do away with that. It's just what I've heard, that they may do away with it. I'm just curious if you had heard anything.
I have not,
But
but I have. Every year, everyone around my area talks about the fact that let's do away with it.
yeah,
Um, but no, I
but
didn't hear that.
yeah, I'd heard that. Now it's still going to get dark, of course, earlier. But I mean, it would be nice to have that extra little bit of daylight without
Absolutely.
changing the time a whole hour. I mean, really, we don't need it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, actually, as being in Maine, we are, I hate to, gotta find I'm knocking on wood right here. We've been fortunate with weather. And usually when we're fortunate, it means it's going to go out just crazy by the end of the season. So I know we have a little bit of snow left. I think it's 17 degrees out right now. And during the day, it gets up into the
Wow.
30s. So we are fortunate for being, the second week of January and having the little amount of snow we do. So the woods, I did peek out into the woods today, and it's still diggable. So maybe this weekend, if we don't get
Mm,
slammed, I can venture out.
yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, it would.
Um, yeah, tomorrow. Well, I was talking about earlier. We got snow.
Yeah.
Most of the snow melted today, but there's still some snow. So tomorrow, when I'm out detecting tomorrow, we're not meeting till like 9:30, but still, it's going to be pretty cold for me because I'm used to the warm weather, even in the winter. So, it's not getting too warm tomorrow. I think the high is like 50, which is warm for you, I'm sure. But
Yes.
it's supposed to be sunny, so it should feel nice. I shouldn't have to wear too many layers or anything like that. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, that's the one thing I haven't picked up a new pair, and I don't know. I have to search through some more of my totes to find my waterproof digging gloves. It's the one thing I'm like, where are they? They have to be somewhere. So I've been doing
Right, right.
mittens and then latex gloves over 'em. Really what I should be doing is latex gloves to keep the water out and then my mittens.
And, oh, yeah. Huh. I might start doing that in the river. You
Hmm.
gave me an idea. I've never done that.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
the other thing I've done is I've used the foot warmers because they're bigger than the hand warmers and actually wrapped it around the handle of my detector and then used tie wrap so it would
Oh,
stay in
that's smart.
place so while I'm swinging my hand stays warm.
That's smart. Well, Steve Adams is still in chat. When we were up in Mississippi that first day, it was so cold. He gave me some of the foot warmers, and I put them in my gloves. If it wasn't for those, my hands would have been frozen because even through the gloves, uh, I know that, especially with my shovel, that metal, boy, you could just feel that cold through that.
Yes, you have
Not as
to
much
do that.
on my detector.
Yeah, you have to do
Yeah,
that wrap. Seriously, the wrap around
I'll
like the
have to
tennis
try it.
racket wrap or so what is it? It's for tennis rackets or hockey sticks or that type of thing. So I put that around it and then actually used a duct tape to do another. I did a bright orange duct
Oh,
tape so I'd see see it if I set it somewhere.
yeah, funny. Well, yesterday I went out with my son, my youngest son, and I said, "You want to go have a snowball fight?" And he said, "Yeah." So we went out. He hasn't been, where we lived when he was born. He was born in Galveston, and the one time it snowed there, it hadn't snowed in 50 years. It
Oh,
was a record. And he was itty bitty, he was in diapers. Wasn't even probably walking. So uh, he's never really seen snow. So yesterday it was fun for him to get out and play in the snow. And we had a snowball fight, but we weren't out there very long. We both got snow down in our boots. And we were like, okay, that's enough. We're
yeah.
going in, but it was fun. I did record just a moment right before we started having our fight a little. So I may put together a small little video and try to post it. Probably not tomorrow because I'll be out digging, but the following day of making my little snow woman, metal detecting snow woman,
Yeah,
leading up to our snowball fight. So,
it's awesome.
wow. Well, you want to wrap it up for the evening?
Sure, yeah, let's
Or
wrap it up a little early.
all right. Well, it's been fun tonight. Thank you all for joining us in chat. I've been trying to catch up with all your comments and stuff, and look forward to next week. We are working on a guest, and this person is in chat tonight, but I hadn't heard back yet for
Oh,
sure.
we got
So
a
I won't.
yes.
We did? Okay.
Yep.
I didn't see it yet, so I tagged you in that. And awesome. Well, we can go ahead and say now that our guest next week join us because it is Little Dirt Diggers, Emily. And y'all be sure and join us next week, same time, same back channel. And we're going to hear from Emily. Emily, I've never heard how you got really, I'm sure you kind of got involved in metal detecting through your parents, I think through your dad, but I am looking forward to hearing your story and hearing about all the awesome things you found. I know you found a lot of stuff, but she says she's excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited too.
I am
I
as
know
well.
Amanda is too. Yeah, it'll be fun. So you all be sure and join us next Monday night, and we will see you then. Good night, all.
Good night.